Well, a history of accusations of fraud, domestic violence, 3 separate reports of sexual assault. None of it enough to stop the rise of one Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department lieutenant through the ranks. The On Your Side team has been digging into how Ronaldo Lampkins was hired despite a failed background check and continued working for nearly 2 decades, even as he was dogged by more troubling allegations. On Friday, Lampkins was officially fired, and he is currently facing a felony charge of unlawful sexual activity with a minor, to which he has pleaded not guilty. But the most serious charge against him could soon be dropped. On Your Side's Ann Schindler reports that's something his accusers say they refuse to accept.
I met him on a call.
Ronaldo Lampkins was responding to a medical emergency when this woman says they first met.
He seemed like a good guy.
The two began dating. Not an exclusive relationship, but an intimate one.
You would never think that this would be that guy.
According to police reports and the woman's injunction request, on a Tuesday night in March 2019, the two were in Lampkins' bed when she suddenly realized a third person was with them.
Oh my God, and I started yelling at them to leave.
The man left, she told police, but Lampkins held her down.
He basically told me, he's like, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna lay here, you're gonna take this, and that's what he did.
Lampkins denied her allegations to police, as did the other man in his apartment that night. The state attorney declined to file charges, citing, quote, the improbability of conviction. But she started digging into Lampkins' background.
I wasn't the first one. In my own investigation, I uncovered that he was a suspect in a forcible rape in 1995.
An exam found that woman's physical condition consistent with her allegations. But no charges were filed in 1995 either, due to an improbability of conviction. The report might be part of the reason JFRD initially rejected Lampkins' job application. Or it may have been the 3 accusations of domestic violence filed with JSO by 2 different women. But in 2002, the fire department said he'd failed his background check, adding, quote, you do not meet the standards established by the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department.
How did this man get hired? I just could not believe that he had this job.
We asked Ray Alfred, who was fire chief at the time. Although JFRD rejected Lampkins the first 2 times he applied, Alfred eventually reversed those rejections and hired Lampkins. Alfred told us he didn't remember hiring Lampkins, but said based on his record, he would not have qualified. Lampkins' problems didn't end there. Court records show a worthless check charge in 2008. And in 2018, the same year he was promoted to lieutenant, he was investigated by the state funeral board for his side job as a funeral director. The board fined him $4,000 for defrauding Florida's Crime Victim Trust Fund of $10,000 and suspended his license.
And I was frustrated about this. And then to learn in April that this time, you're targeting children, I just feel like that's diabolical.
The man that was inside of my house right now had touched her.
This woman has a child with Lampkins, as well as a teenage daughter of her own.
I felt like I couldn't say anything because he was still sitting at the table.
Last April, the girl told police Lampkins pressured her to have sex with him, offered to buy her a vibrator, and forced her to touch him.
And she was just crying, and I just went to her and I started hugging her.
Even though she'd known him for years, she too started digging.
I was shocked. He has been in and out of my life for 10 years, and I would have never expected that he would be somebody who would do something like that. If we stay silent, then that person will continue to do it.
We asked JFRD whether they were notified of the allegations in real time and whether any action was taken, but officials refused to comment. Lampkins, through his attorney, declined interview requests, and again, he's pleaded not guilty. This mom and her daughter say they want to take the case to trial. But she's worried the state plans to drop the most serious charge because of legal complexities with the case. At 16, the girl is too old to be protected by lewd molestation laws for minors, and the physical contact she alleged doesn't meet the definition of statutory rape.
We just hope that he's charged, that he has to pay.
And even though Lampkins has now been fired, all three women say they believe JFRD failed them by ignoring so many red flags.
He wears a uniform. He's in a position to help people. The department really needs to make sure that the people who represent the city deserve to wear that uniform.
Ann Schindler, First Coast News, on your side.
Now, since Lampkin's arrest, a new complaint was filed against him by a girlfriend who says that he failed to repay a $600 loan. When Lampkins did not show up for a scheduled hearing earlier this month, a default judgment was entered against him. And you can find much more information from our investigation, as well as a statement from the city of Jacksonville about his firing, on firstcoastnews.com.